Hello everyone, this is Unlikely Waffle, and welcome back to Survival Life, my Minecraft tutorial series. This is episode 15, and today we are going to be working on redstone. First, let's craft a few things. First one I want to make is a redstone torch. I think I'm a little bit low on that, but anyway, redstone torches are made by placing one stick below and one redstone dust on top, just like you would make a regular torch with coal instead of redstone. Another one is a lever, which makes a redstone input. I'll talk about that in a minute, but that's made by placing one stick on top of one cobblestone. Another one that we want are redstone repeaters, which are used for amplifying and delaying redstone signals. Those are made by placing one torch on the left and the right side of the middle row, so the very center square is in between them. One redstone in the middle, and then 3 smooth stone on the bottom. Our last one that we want is a piston, which is used for moving things around. You do that by placing 3 planks of any wood you want on top, 2 cobblestone down each side, just like you were making boots, 1 iron ingot in the middle, and 1 redstone dust on the bottom. Alright, so there are different types of inputs for redstone. The first one is a redstone torch, which is constant input. It always gives off a signal almost no matter what. The next one is a toggle one, which is the lever. And that is you can turn that on and off, and it will stay in that state until you flip it again. The last one is a pressure plate, which is momentary, which means that it will only give off a signal as long as it is being activated, which is done by standing on it. You remember that from our door over here. Redstone dust does not give off any signal by itself, but what it does do is transmit the signal down however long the line of redstone is, with a limit. The limit is that it only goes for 15 blocks before it cuts off completely. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and then the 16th one should be completely off. So let's come over here and turn on our lever. So you can see that for each block that the wire extends, the signal goes down just a little bit. And as we come towards this far end, it gets very dark, and you can tell when it's on by the fact that it's slightly brighter than when the wire is off. We can see that the 16th block is completely off now. And it also gives off these redstone particles, which you can only see if you have your options on your video settings. Where is it? Particles all. You can also see them on decreased, but you cannot see them on minimal. Alright, so that one is the lever. Let's turn that off. And like I said, this redstone torch is constant, so it will always give off a signal. But because I had to add an extra redstone there, then the signal ends 2 blocks before the wire ends, whereas before it was just 1. Get rid of that one and put it on the pressure plate. And so this one turns on only when this is stepped on or it has something on top of it. Hello, skeleton. They want to come inside. This, however, could put us in a slightly tight spot, depending on what we're doing. What do we do if we need to transmit the signal over a longer distance than the 15 block maximum? You do that by using a repeater. Repeaters, when placed at the end or anywhere before that too, of a powered redstone line, it will power the repeater, which in turn gives off a brand new 15 length signal. And it powers it all the way over here, which is as far as I can make it because of this wall. Let's get rid of all of these pieces, because those are not needed anymore. Alright, So, as I said before, the torch gives off a constant signal almost all of the time. There is a way to turn it off. That is to put the torch on the side of a block, and then you power the block just by putting a line of redstone and lever. So we can see that this is off and the torch is on. And let's just put down another line of redstone right in front of it just to show you that that is powered right now because of the redstone attached to it. The redstone torch attached to it. So let's turn this line on. And so that powers this line, which in turn somewhat powers the block just enough to turn off this redstone torch, which in turn turns off this line out here. This works with any of the input signals, including a pressure plate. So now we can see that's off. Redstone dust is just strong enough to unpower a redstone torch, as we saw. However, it's not actually strong enough to transmit the signal all the way through the block. The way we do fix that is to actually put a repeater going into the block, which pushes the signal right through the block and gives it a brand new signal strength, like before. And in addition to amplifying signals, redstone repeaters also delay signals. And the way you can tell a repeater is facing is the torch that is on this side is stationary. You can't move that whatsoever. But the one on this side moves back and forth, which changes the delay. So you can see if we right click on it, it just moves back and forth. So let's just put a line over here. And each redstone torch gives off a delay of 1 tick or 0.1 seconds, 1/10 of a second. And redstone repeaters give off that same delay. However, when it's in this position, that's the 1 tick delay. The second one is 2 ticks, 3 ticks, and 4 ticks. And then it loops back around to 1 tick again. So if we put it on 2 ticks and then we unpower this, we can see that that line should unpower itself a little bit after this one does. Let's see if we can actually see that. There we go. So we can see there's a slight delay there. Even more obvious when it is on the 4 tick delay. And if you want a delay that is longer than 4 ticks, then all you have to do is feed repeaters into other repeaters that are set to the right amount of ticks that you want. In the description is a link to a video by Etho that goes into more detail about delays and ticks. And so this is useful for creating pieces of circuitry that need to have a delay in it, like we're going to be doing today. And now, we did create a piston. Pistons are used for pushing things around, mainly. So when we put a signal into that, right now it is just a normal looking block with the wooden plate on facing out like this. When we put a signal into it, then that wooden plate pushes out 1 block so that whatever was here now gets pushed out here. So let's put a piece of dirt there, and it should push this out here. And then when we unpower it, then it retracts, and there's a 1 block gap in between the piston and the dirt. However, what we are going to need to do, especially for today, is make sticky pistons. That's made by putting 1 piston underneath 1 slime ball, which we get from slimes, obviously. And so when we put a sticky piston down and we put a block in front of it, it pushes out just like the other piston would. However, when it retracts, instead of leaving the dirt where it would stay otherwise, it pulls the dirt back in with it. Alright, so now on to today's project. Remember how we had this big hallway leading out to our enchanting room? That is because I want to place a door here. Not a door like we've seen, made out of wood. This is going to be a door that you cannot see. It's going to be flush against this wall. You've probably seen other YouTubers do this before, but this is the design that I usually use for enchanting rooms anyway, and it's a good one for this series. And so I've already dug out this side, and let's grab the shovel. As well as this side. And we are going to be using everything that I created today, except that I need to make one new redstone torch because I didn't have I didn't make enough. There we go. Alright, so the first step for this is actually to place, actually we need to make this last sticky piston. There we go. The first step is to place 2 sticky pistons on top of each other like this. These are what will push the wall blocks out so that they are flush with the rest of the storage room wall. Then we place 4 others in a square pattern like this, 2 by 2. And what these will do is, when they're extended, they'll grab these 2 pistons as well as the 2 wall blocks that are attached to them. And then when they retract, they will pull the 2 sticky pistons as well as the 2 wall blocks in with them, so that this side of those blocks are flush with the hallway. And we actually need to do a little bit of digging here now. So I'm going to just dig down under here 2 blocks. This will make lives much easier. Let's see, here we go. Awesome. And I'm going to put a line of redstone all the way from this end to that end. And that is to have an input so that way this door will open when we walk over a pressure plate that's going to be on this block. And because that's only momentary, then the door will extend back into its position. And then when we want to get out of the other side of the room, we're going to walk over a pressure plate that's on this side, which will once again open the door momentarily. Alright, so let's dig out some dirt here. And put 1 piece of dirt right next to that. And we're going to want to put 1 redstone repeater on top of that dirt block facing into the pistons. What this does is it basically, this redstone repeater powers both the piston and the piston below it. And so we want to put 2 redstone dust on top of that, and then 1 in the lower part like this. And then 1 repeater, or I'm sorry, not repeater, torch onto that side of the block to power that line. And then we want to place 2 redstone dust running into that line so that way this will become unpowered when we step on the pressure plates. And you'll notice that because these 2 dust are next to each other right now, then they will connect with each other, as you can see. And the way you separate them is just to place an opaque block so that that corner is resting on the connection between the 2 dust, which effectively cuts that line and stops them from mingling with each other. You can also fix that by placing a redstone dust on top of another block like that, so that way they're 2 above each other. Alright, so where's my lever? There it is. This is just to show you that when this line gets powered, then it will retract the door. Those 2 pistons. Unpowered. Powered. Good. That's it for this side. And now for the other side. Very easy. I'm just creating a large cave so that I can see what I am doing. Alright, and I want to place 1 dirt right here and put the redstone line into that one. And then, as you can probably guess, going to put the redstone torch on this side of it. And then from there, we are going to put redstone going away from that, up these blocks like this. And then get rid of all these blocks, so that way I can get up here. Place 2 dirt right behind these bottom pistons. Let's grab that dirt too. And then redstone repeaters feeding into these pistons. Nope, can't grab that. And then place that dirt right back there. And redstone leading out from that. And now these 4 pistons should all be extended. And yes, they are. Which means that when they become unpowered, which means that we have to power this, then everything should retract. And it does not. And you can probably guess why. That's because while these 2 pistons are on a 1-tick delay, whereas these ones are also on a 1-tick delay, which means they all retract at the same time. Pistons cannot retract extended pistons. So, because these are still extended when these are retracting, then these ones won't pull this back. So we need to put a delay on that. We just put 2 extra ticks on these, and that should be plenty of time. So let's see this. Everything's powered, everything's stuck together, and unpowered. There we go. And now you can see when this line is unpowered, then these lines are powered, and all these pistons are extended. Then these ones will retract before the other 4 do. About 0.2 seconds prior. So you'll watch that when we power this and those pistons start to retract, then these ones will retract first, and then they'll be sucked in by those ones. Just like that. And so now that is pretty much the entire inner workings and mechanics of this door done. So we'll just place this line back here. Let's place a torch in here so that nothing will spawn. That should be good. One up here for good measure. Alright, so now we're back up here. Put the pressure plate down on this side. And when we stand on it, these pistons should all retract. Perfect. Exactly how we want it. And now that we're on this side, because we know that the redstone is underneath this block here, we're going to place a pressure plate on top of that. If I can get there. And that works perfectly. And so now, because it just looks like a couple of sticky pistons there, then we need to place these spruce planks back. Oops. I'll just keep those. And now it's completely flush and hard to see from anywhere in here unless you're looking for it. Or unless you see this. And actually, for now, I'm going to replace this pressure plate with a lever. So that way I can change all the dirt that was in the hallway with spruce planks. There we go. All finished. Like I said, I don't mind that looking like that, but I can always place planks inside that cavity area to smooth out the look of it a bit. Alright guys, that is it for this episode. Thank you all for watching today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, please leave a like and comment, and I will see you next time. So long, everyone.